Question 7. The length of the base of a triangle is twice its perpendicular height. If its area is 36 centimeters squared, find its length in perpendicular height. So a good start with a question like this is to draw a sketch first. So let's draw a sketch of a triangle. So we have something like this. Okay, and let's just make sure we understand all the words here. So the perpendicular height, that's the length from the vertex up here, which is the end point of the triangle, like one of the corners. So a triangle has 3 vertices. That would be 1, 2, 3. So the perpendicular height is from this vertex here down to the base, and perpendicular means it makes an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, so we don't know the height yet, so we'll just call it h, so h for height. And just a reminder, the area of a triangle, well, that's equal to half the base, so the base is this part here, times the height. And when we talk about the height, it is the perpendicular height, so half the base times h. And we know that the length of the base, which is given in the question here, is twice its perpendicular height. So we called the perpendicular height h, so that means the base must be 2 times h. So now we can make an equation and find what h is. Okay, so we know then, according to our formula here, that the area, well, that's equal to half the base, so half of b, so our base is 2h, so we write 2h, times the perpendicular height, which is h, and we know that is equal to 36. So now we can simplify this a bit. So half times 2, well, that's just 1, and h times h, well, that's h squared, so we get h squared is equal to 36. So remember, in algebra we don't write 1 if we've got a letter, so we don't write 1h squared, we just write h squared. So now we need to get rid of the squared part here, so we want to be left with just h. So to undo the square, we take the square root. So we have h is going to be equal to the square root of 36. So sometimes you'll need to take the plus or minus square root of a number, but here we're dealing with the length or the height of a triangle, so that is always going to be positive. We can't have a negative height or a negative length. Okay, so we're left then with h is equal to the square root of 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. So we've found the perpendicular height, so the height is going to be 6 centimeters, and that means the length, or the base, the base was twice the height, so the base is going to be 6 times 2, which is 12 centimeters. Okay, so that is question 7.